The Elmhurst Blue Jays are number 2 in the country and come into this game with a whole new challenge that they face the North Park University Vikings. I'm Luke Tanaka and glad to have you alongside as the Blue Jays finally come home after a 3-game road swing in which they went 3-0 at Milliken, Carthage, and Wheaton. And now here they will face the Vikings, a team that they dominated last year in the series, winning each game by at least 25 points, including a 40-point drubbing right here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. But you know the two leading scorers in the CCIW, Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson, are going to be players to watch in this one. They want some revenge over this Elmhurst team. They really manhandled them both times around last season. North Park coming in with an overall record of 11-5, 3-2 in the CCIW. And when you talk about North Park, you have to talk about Juwan Henry, a 3-time CCIW Player of the Week this year. And against these Blue Jays, well, he's not too fond of playing them. As last season, the Blue Jays held him to 2 of his 3 worst games in conference play in terms of scoring, 19 points and 13 points. The only game in which he was worse was a 9-point outing against Augustana. And when you pair him up with Jordan Robinson, that average is almost 45 points per game between the two of them. Robinson at 21.6 and Henry at 22.9. Robinson, a 6'3 forward, is going to have a whole lot to handle in terms of height, but can he use his quickness to be able to get around Will Nixon, Eric Crittenden down low? For the Blue Jays, the third leading scorer in the conference is Kyle Wiest at 16.3 points per game, well behind the 20-plus that Henry and Robinson average. But Wiest, Brian Ackerman, Eric Crittenden, and the entire Blue Jays seniors and this class, they want to continue their winning streak against North Park, which has now reached 5 games. The Blue Jays are 13-2 against North Park here at R.A. Fagnall Hall in their last 15 meetings. It's the Vikings and the Blue Jays on Blue Jay TV. There you have it, the national anthem here at R.A. Fagnall Hall, and let's meet the starters. First for the North Park University Vikings. Number 0, TJ Cobbs, is a 5'10 junior guard. Number 4, Colin Lake, is a 5'7 sophomore guard from Michigan. Juwan Henry, number 5, is a 5'10 junior guard, averaging 23 points per game. Number 24, Jordan Robinson, averages 21.6 per game. He's a 6'3 sophomore forward from Schaumburg. And Darius Brown, just starting the last 4 games since conference play started for these Vikings. He wears number 32, and he's a 6'3 junior forward from Belvedere. And the starting lineup for the Elmhurst College Blue Jays. It's been the same all season, and sure it isn't going to stop now. 5 seniors, Pat Coleman, a 6'2 senior guard from North Chicago, averaging 7.3 points per game. And this season, career highs in points, rebounds, assists, field goal percentage, and free throw percentage. Kyle Weiss, number 20, the third leading scorer in the conference and the leading scorer for these Blue Jays. Number 20, a 6'1 senior guard from Edinburgh, Indiana. Number 21, Brian Ackerman, is a 6'2 senior guard from Logety, Indiana. And number 22, Eric Crittenden, is a 6'7 senior forward from Crete, Illinois. And Will Nixon, the all-time leader in blocks at Elmhurst College, wears number 52. He's a 6'7 senior center, and he's going to try to limit this guy, Jordan Robinson, who's averaging 21.6 points per game. So glad you could join us for some CCIW men's basketball today. It should be a good one between the Blue Jays and Vikings, and Elmhurst will try to continue that 5-game winning streak they have against the Vikings, including 13-2. I mentioned just before we went to the anthem, the Blue Jays are 13-2 versus North Park at R.A. Fagnall Hall, dating back to the 2000-2001 season. North Park will be in the black, and they will head from left to right, and Elmhurst in the white with the blue trim on the white lettering, and then blue numbers. Elmhurst across the chest for North Park. North Park across the chest, outlined in yellow. A little bit darker blue than the Blue Jays on the numbers and all black uniforms. As the tip is controlled by Will Nixon over Jordan Robinson, and the Blue Jays will shoot at the left basket. Nixon at the top of the key, 2 dribbles and then a pass to Crittenden on the baseline. Eric Crittenden tries to back in on Robinson, lays up the floater, and it's good. Right-handed floater from the lefty, Eric Crittenden, and his 2-0 Blue Jays. Here's TJ Cobbs, and he'll hand off to Juwan Henry. Leading scorer in the CCIW, but he's got it to Colin Lake, who tries to drive to the basket past Crittenden, but nowhere to go. Robinson is open for 3. The forward knocks it down. Just off of straight on at the top of the key, Jordan Robinson knocks down a 3, and he, surprisingly enough, at the forward spot, is a better 3-point shooter than Juwan Henry, as Weiss goes to the basket and will be fouled by Cobbs. Just off of straight on at the top of the key, Jordan Robinson knocks down a 3, and he, surprisingly enough, at the forward. First foul on TJ Cobbs is Kyle Weiss, one of the best free throw shooters in the conference. Third in free throw shooting. He's also third in three-point shooting. He shoots 84% from the free throw stripe. And Weiss' first free throw is good to tie the score at 3. Kyle Weiss from Edinburgh, Indiana, and head coach John Bain said that he's really rounded out his game this year. He used to be able to just get to the free throw line, draw fouls, but now shooting the 3, knocking down the mid-range game as Weiss knocks down the second free throw, and the Blue Jays take a 4-3 lead. And he's done such a great job as Kyle Weiss, as North Park now attacking the right basket. It's going to be Henry on the far wing. He's guarded by Pat Coleman. Screen from Brown. Now Robinson on the handoff, but good look down low to Cobbs, who lays it up and in. Really good look by Jordan Robinson to find TJ Cobbs, who is wide open on the right block, and he just laid it in. Just 1 minute in, 5-4 North Park. Crittenden gets stripped by Lake. Colin Lake, the 5'7" sophomore, bounce pass and a travel by Cobbs, who ran from the free throw line all the way to the basket on a reverse layup. And at 5'10", you need more than 2 strides to get that far. The first turnover of the game, or second turnover, I suppose, first for North Park, as now we'll have another turnover. After 4 consecutive possessions with points, we've now had 3 consecutive turnovers. Lake brings the ball up as North Park hands off at the top of the key by many. Here's Colin Lake and Juwan Henry. They set him up on the far wing again against Coleman. He's going to drive to his left, and he'll take a wild 3 from the far side. That's off back iron, and the rebound is for Eric Crittenden. Almost getting the steal was Cobbs. Ackerman tracks it down. Nixon's down low, and he lays it up and in. Brian Ackerman had to chase that one as it rolled just out like a carrot on a stick. And eventually he caught up to it just outside of the three-point line, and among the chaos, Will Nixon was open down low. 2 minutes in, here's Jordan Robinson from the elbow. Jumper is good, and Jordan Robinson has 5 points. 7-6 North Park, early goings first half. They want Nixon down low, and they'll get it to him, and Darius Brown will be charged for his first foul as his right arm got interlocked with Nixon's left. First foul on Brown and the second team. As Ackerman gets the ball in on the near side. Swing it all the way around to Wiest, far wing. Coleman hand signaling. Wanted Nixon to come out. Now Crittenden at the free throw line. Nobody contested his shot, but Crittenden missed it anyway. And the one-handed rebound is scooped and pulled down by Robinson. Juwan Henry through the legs, guarded by Wiest. Went off of Coleman and then off of Henry, and it's out of bounds. Coleman gets the strip and the turnover for Henry. 7-6 North Park, 17-13 to go here in the first half. Number 2 ranked Blue Jays, 15-1, 5-0 in the CCIW, battling North Park. 11-5 and 3-2. Wiest, 3 from the near wing is well too strong. Crittenden taps it out, but Cobbs was right there, and then Wiest ran right into him. Down goes Cobbs, and the foul will be charged to Wiest. It's the first on Wiest and the first team foul. And we'll have the first substitution of the game. And it's going to be Michael Hutchinson, the sixth man in for North Park. North Park does not rotate a whole lot of players, or at least not a lot of players that take shots. Only 5 players have more than 3 field goal attempts per game, and that will be 35 on the season. That's Jordan Robinson, Michael Hutchinson, Juwan Henry, Colin Lake, and TJ Cobbs. And another, no, it's going to be a foul on Ackerman, as slipping was signaling for the officials, but it never came from one of the officials. Tom O'Neill, Rich Priscoll, and Mike Scrabis are our officials today. Colin Lake bounced pass to Jordan Robinson on the near wing. Now Lake thought about a deep 3, but didn't get it. Now Henry driving baseline all the way to the basket, and he puts it up and in. First points for the CCIW's leading scorer, and it's 9-6 North Park. 3.5 minutes in. As Coleman gets the ball in the far wing. Now it's Ackerman shooting at the left basket. Still all 5 starters for the Blue Jays. Crittenden, now Ackerman again with 10 to shoot. And Will Nixon from the free throw line. His jumper is off the mark, and the rebound's pulled down by Cobbs. Elmhurst trying to get on the offensive glass in this game. One of the keys is going to be the rebounding battle. North Park's going to try to keep it close despite their lack of height. Robinson driving to the basket, got bumped by Crittenden, but no foul called, and Nixon got a rebound. Robinson almost got that to go. Wiest is all alone under the basket, and he puts it up and in. 1-point game, and Ackerman gets the assist on the long pass. 9-8 North Park. 15:40 to go first half as Brandon Schwebke is set to check in. Ackerman almost got his second foul there as he tried to go over a screen by Lake on a handoff. Here's Henry going all the way basket. Nixon with the rejection, and Coleman keeps it in. What an athletic play by Pat Coleman. Here he goes all the way. Wiest wide open for 3. A little bit too strong, but Nixon got a rebound and is going to stay here as there'll be a foul. Colin Lake, that was Colin Lake, who looked like he somewhat had position. And it's going to be on Hutchinson, his first and the team's third, as Schwebke checks in for Crittenden. That was Colin Lake at 5'7", trying to box out 6'7", a foot taller than him. And North Park will call its first timeout at 30. And for North Park, the keys are going to be, they got to force some turnovers. And I have not. Colin Lake bounced pass to Jordan Robinson on the near wing. Now Lake thought about a deep 3, but didn't get it. Now Henry driving base. After getting those turnovers, they got Colin Lake bounced pass to Jordan Robinson on the near wing. Now Lake thought about a deep 3, but didn't get it. Good job so far, leading 9-8. For the Blue Jays, you want to limit the 2 leading scorers, but at the same time, you don't want anybody else around them to do Jordan Robinson all that great. Wing. Now Jordan Lake thought about a deep 3, but and Juwan Henry keep along their season averages, and you limit the rest of the team to about 10 points. That's only 54 points because Juwan Henry, Jordan Robinson averaged on the about near wing. 45. Now Lake thought about a deep 3. As Wiest inbounds to Ackerman, who goes straight to the bucket, goes up and count it, and 1. Brian Ackerman goes up, fights through the contact. Right-handed layup from the left side of the basket is good. Michael Hutchinson charged with his second foul as Ackerman goes to the stripe and converts the 3-point play. Elmhurst takes the lead, 11-9. Brown comes back in for North Park. We've only seen 12 players in the game so far, one sub from each side, and that sub for North Park, Hutchinson, already has 2 fouls in about 3 minutes. 5 minutes in, Elmhurst leading by 2 here at R.A. Fagino Hall in Elmhurst, Illinois. Jordan Robinson guarded by Schwebke, and he will pull up, toes on the line, and it's going to be rebounded by Pat Coleman on the far side. Blue Jays looking to run with Wiest. Schwebke trying to post up, and Coleman traveled. He took one too many steps before dribbling, and now we'll see Kenny Payonk subbing in for Will Nixon. First time we've seen Payonk today. The 6'6 senior center from Oak Forest, Sandburg High School. I can call him a forward as well. Colin Lake and Jordan Robinson chatting. Both sophomores came in at the same class to this North Park team. Lake at 5'7", dribbles through the legs and hands off to Juwan Henry, leading scorer in the conference. Henry, 2 dribbles to the basket. Really nice move by Juwan Henry. Dribbles through the defense and finds the easy layup. That's the difference him from last year to this year. Last year he hit a lot of threes. This year he's really getting to the basket more, getting fouled more, and getting more points at the free throw stripe. They leave Schwebke wide open, and he knocks it down. Brandon Schwebke broke his nose against Milliken. But if you know Brandon Schwebke, you know he's a scrappy player. He's the first one that's going to volunteer to put on a mask and play anyway. And doesn't seem to be affecting his shot so far. Cobbs finds Lake as he got cut off by Ackerman. Wiest is guarding Colin Lake. Left-handed dribble through the legs now. Not once, but twice. Lake with 5. He jacks up a 3 that's a little bit short. Rebound bounced around. Robinson got an offensive rebound. Couldn't put it back, but then he eventually did. 7 points for Jordan Robinson in less than 7 minutes. North Park down by 1 as Coleman hits a 3. Pat Coleman quickly answers, and the Blue Jays lead by 4. Juwan Henry through the legs at the top of the key. Now he steps back for 3, but that's a little too short. But pulling down a rebound is Darius Brown, and a foul is going to be charged to somebody. Ackerman won a jump ball, and Wiest is going to have his second foul. So 2 fouls on Elmhurst's leading scorer, and here comes the bench for the Blue Jays. For Jordan Robinson in less than 7 minutes. Peyton Wyatt and Eric Leonard check in. Kenny Payonk and Schwebke also on the floor. So this is the second unit. They're still all seniors, although Loving has 1 more year of eligibility due to the red shirt last year. As Leonard gets a hand on a pass to Lake, who falls down and tries to get back up with the ball, and he travels. Can't do that. He fell down, got back up with the basketball. Leonard went in for the strip, and it's going to be a travel on Lake and a turnover. Good hustle by Eric Leonard. It's one of the subjects of the interview with John Baines we actually conducted yesterday, came out today, and Baines really praised this bench. So this bench is playing really, really well right now. And that's the 5 on the floor right now. But Leonard is playing with so much confidence, and he's really a starter playing from the bench. Leonard thought about a 3 and then turned it over. Tried to get the pass to Loving. Henry's all alone under the basket, and he will lay it in to make it a 2-point game. 6 for Henry, 7 for Robinson. No surprise there from the North Park side of things. And it's 17-15. Elmhurst. 12:40 to go first half. Wyatt on the far side. He gives to Leonard. Now Wyatt for 3. No good. Schwebke skying for the rebound. Payonk ended up with it, and he put it up and in. Fighting through the contact. Kenny Payonk under the basket. He didn't even need the backboard. Just put it in. 19-15 Elmhurst. New player into the game, Trevor Pye for North Park, as Robinson goes to the basket, airballs it. Henry trying to go back up against Loving, but he got blocked. Now Robinson under the basket. He misses again on the in and out, and Robinson goes again, and he gets it with the foul. Elmhurst isn't really rebounding as well as they have been in previous games, and Jordan Robinson on the 4th attempt at the basket got it to go with 12:01 to go, and he was fouled. And Robinson has a contact issue. And with that, we mean eye contact. So we don't mean contact with another player. As it's now 19-17, Elmhurst on top with 12:01 to play in the first half. And Robinson will reapply his contact. Head coach Tom Slider for North Park has really done a great job with this North Park team. A team that started 6-19 and 1-13 in the conference his first year, then 4-21 in Juwan Henry's first year and 1-13 in the conference. Then all of a sudden, an 11-game improvement last year. And North Park started 0-6 in CCIW play last season. That was after their loss to Elmhurst, and then all of a sudden rattled off 5 straight wins. They went 6-2 the rest of the way. Their only losses, one of their 2 losses the rest of the way was to this Blue Jay team here at R.A. Fagnall Hall, which was a 40-point loss to Elmhurst. I think we're still awaiting the contact lens issue. There's only 4 on the floor, so I'm guessing we're awaiting Juwan Henry. Jordan Robinson, as he gets some help from Ann Hutchins, gets high fives down the bench, and here he comes back in. And he's getting ready to shoot his free throw. He made the basket and got fouled, so this will be for a 3-point play. If the free throw's good, it'll make it a 1-point game. As it sits, 19-17, Elmhurst on top of North Park with 12:01 to play. Missed it a little bit short. Darius Brown almost got the rebound, and he pushed off. And it's going to be Brown's second foul. So all sorts of foul trouble down low for North Park. But positive for them, I suppose, is that Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson have 0 combined fouls. Jalen Loving was wide open on the baseline. He now finds Schwebke back down to Loving. Going to work against Robinson. Wyatt almost couldn't get that pass. Armand Mooring, who's recently checked in, almost got a hand on the pass. Here's Loving just inside the 3-point line, and he knocks it down. Jalen Loving is the 7th Elmhurst player in the scorebook. Actually, make it 8. He's the 8th in the scorebook for the Blue Jays. 21-17. You won't see that on the North Park side of things. Not a whole lot of players take shots for this team. Right now, Jordan Robinson is probably going to take just about all the shots. Going to double team him as bounce pass down low. They do double him down low on the baseline. Schwebke gets a tip up, and he gets the steal. Heading the other way, Blue Jays with Leonard and Loving. And he'll pull it out. And now Schwebke drives to the basket on Robinson, but lost his dribble. Payonk on the pass that was almost picked off. Wyatt wide open for 3. Yes! 9 players in the scorebook, nobody with more than 4. But the Blue Jays have extended a game-high 7-point lead. And we're going to get a timeout. Looked like Juwan Henry wanted to call it. Second timeout taken by North Park. And it'll be a full timeout for North Park. It'll give us a chance to talk a little bit about both head coaches. We'll start with Tom Slider, who, as we mentioned before, during the Jordan Robinson contact lens fiasco. As time and score, it is 10:45 to go with a 7-point Elmhurst lead. 6-19 first-year under Slider, 4-21 second-year under Slider. That is 1-13 conference schedules. And last year, 15-10 and 6-8 in the conference, and now they're 11-5 and 3-2 in the conference. Very impressive job by Tom Slider of recruiting some really good shooters and some really good scorers in Colin Lake, Juwan Henry, and Jordan Robinson. And that's how they've been able to be successful. And they've done a good job of it with wins over Carthage, Milliken, and Wheaton so far in conference play. Losses to North Central and Augie, and they'll play Illinois Wesleyan at home in their next game to round out the first time through the conference schedule. As for John Baines, well, it's a similar story. John Baines took a team that was 6-19 a couple of seasons ago and turned them around to now at number 2 in the nation at 15-1 and 5-0 in the conference, just behind Whitworth and the D3Hoops.com national poll. And a big upset last time we were on the call for a men's basketball game here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. It was the victory over number 1 Augustana that propelled Elmhurst to that number 2 ranking. As the crowd begins to fill out here with 10:45 to go and a 7-point Elmhurst lead. North Park with the basketball, shooting at the right basket, wearing black uniforms today. TJ Cobbs is checked back in. Cobbs running the point at the beak of the Blue Jay. Now brings it to the near wing, finds Henry, who's double teamed by Loving and Wyatt. Now it's just Loving on him as Henry goes to work. It's around Loving and goes to the basket and one. Henry gets it to go as Peyton Wyatt tried to take the charge. He didn't get there in time, and with 3 on the shot clock, Juwan Henry got it to go to cut the lead to 5, and Henry will try to go for a 3-point play. Only 4 players in the North Park scorebook. Or make that 3, actually, I should say. Is knocking it down is Henry. He's got 9 points. Robinson has 9 points. TJ Cobbs has 2, and that's it for North Park. On the opposite side, you have 9 in the scorebook already in under 10 minutes of play in this game for the Blue Jays. Wyatt dribbling on the near side, lost it, so he found Schwebke. Now Jalen Loving finds Payonk at the elbow. Handoff back to Loving with 10 to shoot. Schwebke's way outside with 7 to shoot. Leonard with 5 to shoot. Leonard with 4. He's got to jack it up. Now Payonk, a nice look on the screen and roll. That was a really great job by Eric Leonard, calming down with 5 to shoot. Got the screen and roll. Double team on Leonard. Left Payonk wide open, and he knocks down the 16-foot jumper. Henry going to the basket. Bounce pass to the far side. Swing it around to Trevor Pye, who's open for 3. Trevor Pye knocks it down. He averages 2.2 points, and he just eclipsed it with 1 shot. 9:20 to go. Elmhurst leading by 3, 26-23. Second unit on the floor still for Elmhurst as Pye gets a hand on a pass, and it'll stay with Elmhurst in the backcourt as now here comes a couple of starters. Make it 4 starters. Colin Lake comes back for North Park. Back in, Will Nixon, Brian Ackerman, Pat Coleman, and Eric Crittenden as well. So they'll leave Wyatt in as a shooter with Weiss 2 fouls. They'll bring on the rest. With 5 to shoot, it's Crittenden. Got a handoff. Wyatt with 2 to shoot. He jacks up a wild 3 that hits the front iron, bounces around, and rebound to Robinson. TJ Cobbs hands off to Colin Lake. Haven't seen Juwan Henry in a while. He's actually getting a breather. Quite surprising as front iron and the long rebound comes to Robinson, who puts it back up. No good. Nixon high for the rebound on that one. Under 9 minutes to play. Blue Jays leading by 3 as Crittenden backs down Cobbs, and the guard is no match for Eric Crittenden, who now leads all Blue Jays with 5 points. And Elmhurst leads by 5. Here's Armand Mourning. He took that last 3-point attempt. Robinson, deep 3. Wow. 12 points for Robinson. Yes, he could shoot that 3 even as a forward. A 6'3 forward shoots 40% from downtown as Ackerman tries to answer, and he misses off front rim, but he gets his own rebound. Following the shot, that's what they teach you. And here comes Nixon. Wraparound layup, and it's good on the second effort. Second chance points for the Blue Jays after Ackerman followed his rebound. Nixon got the reverse lay-in to go. Under 8 to play here in the first half and a 4-point Elmhurst lead. Bounce pass to Colin Lake, who puts it up, no good, and Nixon grabbed a rebound. Coleman trying to run with the Blue Jays, goes all the way to the basket, and it's a foul as the ball got stuck between the backboard and the rim, and Will Nixon will tip it back up and get it out of there. And that was a late foul call. And it's going to be Trevor Pye's first foul. 6th team foul of the half. And Pat Coleman will go to the free throw line with 2 shots. First one is no good off to the right for the senior from North Chicago, who shoots 83% from the foul line on the season, but hasn't shot as well more recently. Used to be the team leader in free throw percentage. He has now given that up to Kyle Weiss, who is shooting 84%. But he knocks down the second one, and Coleman's got 4 points. 7:30 to go, and a 5-point Elmhurst lead after Coleman splits the free throws. Weiss set to check in with his 2 fouls as there's a 3 on the far side by Mooring. It's no good. Tipped around by Robinson, who's really fighting for those boards. Mooring tried to throw it off of Nixon, but he got out of the way, and Coleman is running. Fast pace came from the Blue Jays as Coleman spots up for 3. Front rim, back rim, and no good as Henry got the rebound. Almost got upended by Ackerman and Crittenden. frantic pace as Robinson jacks up a three. He got fouled, and you can count it. As he gives a little business to the crowd on the near side that's been talking to him. He gets it off glass and gets fouled for three. Robinson has 15 points in, well, I guess 13 minutes. Wiest checks in for Wyatt. Kyle Wiest has 2 fouls, so he's got to be really careful not to pick up his third here in the first half. Robinson turned to the crowd and gave a little signal as he knocks in the 4-point play, and it's a 1-point game. Blue Jays with the ball, up by 1, 31-30. Ackerman on the far side, driving on Cobbs, gets by him and gets all the way to the basket to put it in. Ackerman has 5, tying for the team lead. Well away from the game high of 16 by Robinson of North Park. That's 33-30. First time Michael Hutchinson is back in with his 2 fouls as well. North Park as Robinson spots up for 3, and he knocks down another one. My goodness, Jordan Robinson. Unbelievable. Tie game at 33. Robinson has 19 already. Crittenden finds Coleman at the free throw line. 1 dribble, swipe by Robinson, but Coleman knocks it down. 6 points for Coleman. He now has the team high. Coleman trying to urge his team on the defensive end. Somebody's got to get a body on Jordan Robinson. He feels like he can hit from anywhere right now. Here's Juwan Henry. No lack of confidence from his end as well. Coleman, really good defense, but Henry had some better offense. 11 points for Henry. 30 points combined for Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson out of the 35. Tie game at 35 with 5:30 to go first half. Will Nixon facing up. Juwan Henry got a steal. Here's Colin Lake all alone. And he misses, and it goes off of North Park as his shot got altered by Will Nixon, who was charging in for another block. And Schwebke checks in for Crittenden, and John Baines wants timeout. 30-second timeout for the Blue Jays, their first of the game. And this is really a remarkable thing we are looking at right now as Jordan Robinson has 19 points in less than 15 minutes. And he just can't miss, or so it seems. Really remarkable stuff from Jordan Robinson and Juwan Henry, who together have combined for 30 of North Park's 35 points. Jordan Robinson has already taken 12 shots, so that should say something about his 19 points. But 7 of 12 from the field for 58% and 4 of 4 from downtown. My goodness, Jordan Robinson, have yourself a first half. He's got 5 more minutes to play. The Blue Jays are staying in it regardless of the 2 players. Chris Martin said before the game he got to at least stop one of their 2 guys. If he can limit maybe both or even just one, you should have a pretty solid chance of winning. But now another steal, and Robinson is all alone for another lay-in. 21 points for Robinson, and North Park has their first lead since the early goings. Starting 5 from last year as they're really letting North Park be physical as they go for these passes. Running into players trying to get steals as Ackerman jacks up a 3 and gets it off the rim, the backboard, and then it falls. 8 points for Ackerman, a team high. 4:30 to go, and the Blue Jays now lead by 1. But North Park is really doing exactly what they want to do. They're forcing some turnovers. And Henry's open for 3, and he hits it a little too strong back iron, and the rebound to Nixon. And let your 2 guys work. Turnovers, then let the 2 guys go as there's another steal on Nixon's arid pass. Hutchinson gets it to Cobbs with 4 minutes to play. North Park has the ball back. Robinson spots up for 3 over Nixon, and this one is way off the mark. And here's Kyle Wiest dribbling back up for the Blue Jays. Towards the left basket, Wiest finds Ackerman in the corner for 3. It's a little short, and Henry had the rebound fall right into his lap. Outlet pass to Hutchinson, who goes all the way but couldn't get it to go. Hodgson's got to get that one to fall. Wide open under the basket, but he could not. And now Schwebke's driving the other way, but Henry picked his pocket. But Robinson got his pocket picked, and now we have a foul on TJ Cobbs. Take a breath. 3:30 to go, and it's a 1-point game. 2 fouls on TJ Cobbs, so Hutchinson, Darius Brown, and TJ Cobbs all have 2 fouls for North Park. And Schwebke will go to the line for 2 shots. Frantic pace with turnovers abound, and that's exactly what North Park wants. Their guard-oriented team should win the turnover battle. It's a matter of keeping the rebound battle as close as possible. Schwebke knocks down the first free throw. He's only shot 9 free throws so far this season. A little bit surprising. He's wearing the mask after breaking his nose in the game against Milliken. He's now 6 of 10 on the season, make it 7 of 11 as he knocks down the second one. Loving checks in for Schwebke, the shooter, and now it is Leonard and Loving back into the game for the Blue Jays. They join Kyle Wiest, Will Nixon, and Brian Ackerman. On the opposing side, Jordan Robinson, Colin Lake, Juwan Henry, Armand Mooring, and Michael Hutchinson. Here's Lake dribbling on Wiest. Through the legs a couple of times, trying to find Henry, and he does. Eric Leonard guarding Henry. Doubled by Loving. Step back, 2-pointer is no good. Robinson had the rebound, and it's off of him. And to Wiest and the Blue Jays. Wyatt comes back in. Wiest goes off the floor, and he stays with 2 fouls, which is a positive sign for John Baines' crew. Jalen Loving at the top of the key holding. It's a screen from Nixon. One of the first times we've seen those 2 guys on the floor at the same time. As Eric Leonard wants to go down to Nixon, who's guarded by Mooring. They double him, and then Ackerman has a wide open shot at the elbow, but then Nixon got the tip. Just off the mark was Ackerman, and Nixon should have a field day down low with nobody to box him out as he tips it up and in. 5-point Elmhurst lead with 2:30 to play first half. They've re-extended this lead after Jordan Robinson got it back. Colin Lake could barely get it to Henry as Leonard is face guarding him with all he can do. Henry going to the basket, under the basket now. All pass was tipped, but Robinson has a 3 from the near wing. He can't get this one to fall, and Wyatt got a rebound over a skying Hutchinson. Leonard trying to go to the basket, lost the handle, and Colin Lake got a steal. 2 minutes to go. 5-point Elmhurst lead. Pace has been frantic. Turnovers all over the place. And it's a close game here at R.A. Fagino Hall. Lake dribbles the shot clock down to about 10, and now it's Henry with 10. Henry guarded by Loving. Colin Lake from way downtown. Way off the mark, and the rebound is Will Nixon again. Nixon all over the glass. He's got 7 rebounds already here in the first half with 1:30 to go. 5-point Elmhurst lead, trying to extend it heading into halftime. Wyatt thought about a 3, didn't take it. Dribbling, finds Ackerman, who tries to get down low to Nixon, but Robinson tipped it out of bounds. It'll stay with the Blue Jays with 10 to shoot. And Baines wants a timeout, set up this offensive play. He knows it's a pretty critical play. If you can get score, stop, score here, you can go into halftime with a 9 or 10-point lead. Already leading by 5, 42 to 37. So we'll see what John Baines tries to draw up here. Team stats, well, Elmhurst is shooting 61% from the field, but with North Park only shooting 44%, they're still only up by 5. Largest lead for the Blue Jays has been 7. That's because of 8 turnovers by the Blue Jays to just 4 for North Park. Rebounding battle so far, 19 to 11 in favor of Elmhurst, but it doesn't seem that lopsided. More recently, Elmhurst has locked down the offensive glass for North Park, but a couple of times where we've seen North Park get some offensive rebounds despite their lack of size. Tallest player on the floor right now is Hutchinson at 6'4". That's the tallest player that we really see in the rotation on a regular basis. Ackerman got bumped by Mooring, I believe, and it should be on the floor, I'm guessing. On his way to the basket, it is Armand Mooring. his first foul, but either way, it's 1-1 for Ackerman. Leading scorer so far for the Blue Jays as Pat Coleman checks back in for Leonard. 9 players in the scorebook for the Blue Jays, and just 4 so far for the Vikings as Ackerman knocks down the first one to get the bonus. He's got 9 points. That's a team high. Game high is Jordan Robinson with 21 points in the first half. Ackerman's second free throw is smooth, and he reaches double figures. Colin Lake will bring the ball up the floor slowly. North Park can go 2 for 1 here, and they should be able to go 2 for 1 with over a minute to play, but Henry lost it out of bounds. In fact, he found the athletic director, Paul Crone, who's standing right at the corner on the near side, near the student section, which has done some jawing, or so it seems, with Jordan Robinson. Wiest checks back in as Loving checks out. Wiest with 2 fouls. By now on the offensive end, with 1 minute to play, Elmhurst leading by 7, trying to extend that lead heading into halftime. North Park tied it at 35. Since then, the Blue Jays have gone on a 9-2 run. Here is Wiest. It's a guard-oriented team right now with 4 guards on the floor. Wiest going to the basket, finds Wyatt in the corner for 3. It's well short, but Wyatt followed his shot because he knew it. Wyatt got the rebound with 40 seconds to play here in the first half. Fresh 30 for the Blue Jays as Wyatt now is wide open straight on for 3. No good, a little strong. Nixon going up for the board, tipping it out, but it's pulled down eventually by Mooring, and the shot clock is off, and North Park has a chance to cut into a 7-point deficit. 20 to play for Henry, who holds the ball at his left hip. Just below the logo, in the middle of the Blue Jay floor here with 10 to play. Now he starts dribbling. Juwan Henry going ISO. Little screen from Robinson, and he pulls up deep 3. Knocks it down with 3 to play. With 2 to play, with 1 to play, Lake couldn't get it off. And it's a 3 for Juwan Henry as we end the half. And the Blue Jays will head to the locker room with a 4-point lead. But North Park staying right in this game. Very impressive first half. You're just joining us. 21 points for Jordan Robinson in the first half on 8 of 15 shooting and 4 of 6 from downtown. Juwan Henry is 6 of 11. He's got 14 points with that 3. But that 3 he just made was his first 3 of the game, doing more driving than pulling up in this game. On the opposing side and Elmhurst side, it's Brian Ackerman with 10 points. Will Nixon with 6, Pat Coleman with 6, and 9 players in the scorebook for the Blue Jays. Give you some more stats in about 15 minutes when we come back for the second half on Blue Jay TV.
The dance team and be in control. I mean, it's difficult sometimes, no doubt about it. It's very stressful sometimes, but I probably, as much as I complain about it, I probably wouldn't change it for the world because it's making me who I am today.
I have had a great experience at Elmhurst. I'm obviously involved with the volleyball program, and it's been a really good experience for me. I would say we're pretty close because we practice 5 days a week for 2.5 hours. We're lifting, we're doing bonding things, and we're traveling on the weekends. So you're pretty much with these girls for 3 months every single day for hours. So we're all pretty close, and we rely on each other and ask each other for help.
I've had a great experience at Elmhurst, I really have. I think that the college is all about making the individual well-rounded, and I do think that I have grown up a lot since I've been at college. I've played soccer, and I'm in the nursing program, and I lived on campus for 2 years. It's been great, and I've made so many new friends, and there's just so much here to offer. I just love it.
I really like doing the dance team because I've been dancing since I was 3, so coming here and joining the dance team was an obvious choice of something that I'd wanted to do. The whole experience for me is a confidence builder, and being able to connect with students in the crowd, not even to know them, but just to get them to smile while you're at a game, I think that's such a great feeling. to know that, someone might have been having a bad day and they come and watch you dance, and maybe it's one of their favorite songs in the world that makes them smile no matter what. And to be able to be a part of that and to connect to somebody in that manner, I think that's a really cool experience to share in.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value, exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people, and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to like the way you live your everyday life.
We value
intellectual excellence,
community,
social responsibility,
stewardship,
faith, meaning, and values.
Wrestling here has been great. I've been able to achieve some of my goals I've set for myself, and I guess coming to a smaller school in wrestling.
Welcome to the cultural season at Elmhurst College. Elmhurst is a place of values and conviction. We were founded by 19th century reformers who believed in human potential, loved learning, and had standards. More than 140 years later, we still do. We still attract students and teachers who want to think for themselves and act on principles, who challenge and respect one another, who engage, serve, and celebrate our diverse, dynamic, interdependent world. A few years ago, to be clear about things, we wrote down our core values. This year, we asked some of our students what those values mean to them.
Elmhurst College is unique in so many ways.
Here we really do have values, and my professors know the values, and they push me to be those values.
Stewardship and faith and community and service, and it really does bring in kind of a level of just interaction with values that you never got before.
But as you kind of develop yourself over the years, you start to realize these values mean so much more, and you start to uncover the true meaning behind them.
You begin to see equivalencies between your life and the school, and then you discover that you're not just in a place of learning, you're also in a place of growing, you're in a place of maturity and value, exactly that, core values.
Intellectual excellence means allowing our minds to grow in ways that we've never thought they could before. It means exploring those new pathways, seeing how we could do things different. It means stepping outside of our box of what we know and what we're comfortable with and taking those risks to really grow and make things better. I think that's really the core of what intellectual excellence is.
The professors set the standard of intellectual excellence, and that rubs off on the students, and I feel like that's rubbed off on me.
You really have to push yourself. So to know that's actually a value here is pretty important, because that's something I value on my own. So if my college values it as well, that means I really belong here.
To say that Elmhurst College values community, I think, is an understatement. I think Elmhurst College is community in so many ways.
Coming to Elmhurst College, a small college, it has to be about community.
It doesn't really matter who you are or where you've come from. Everyone here will just love you for who you are.
The fact that every individual and every unique person is allowed to be in an environment together and learn from each other and grow with each other.
Just the fact that it's smaller and that you form those one-on-one relationships, it encourages like creativity and questioning and all the things I wanted out of my college experience.
Social responsibility means caring for each individual as a person.
There are all these people, and they're all more important than my general happiness as a single person.
You're not only trying to better yourself, but I feel like it also means it's your job that you better your community too.
Knowing that there's something larger than yourself and that you can play a part in making someone else's life better.
Taking what I learned from my family, that others come before me, and translating that into the entire world.
It's really awesome to be in a place where not only are you worrying about academics, but it's also teaching me how to be a better person.
To me, stewardship is just being responsible, really thinking about your actions.
If I'm going to say that, I believe in this philanthropy, I think we should do this, I need to follow through with my actions.
What I found coming to Elmhurst is that there are lots of people that feel the same way. So it was easy to find a group of people who were so engaged in service and so willing to help.
Kind of made me reflect on, what do I value in life? Why am I here? They really did kind of push me to the next level and make me think about that, and I think that I'm a better person for it.
Values really help shape identity. If you really don't understand your values, you're not really understanding a part of who you are.
I was more sheltered until I came here, and Elmhurst has really kind of made me step out of my comfort zone and learn more about like what I want to do and what I believe in.
Places like the chaplain's office and the Niebuhr Center for Faith and Action give me safe places where I can go to discuss my faith and to discuss my values with people that I know I trust and people that I know I can count on to influence me and to lead me in the right direction.
You can never be forced out of your faith or forced into a different kind of faith as long as you're at Elmhurst, that you really are given the ability to take your pick and always have encouragement from your peers, never shunned or excluded or pressured into something else. There's always a place for you.
If you believe you're here on this earth for a reason, that's going to affect the way you live your life. That's going to affect the way you treat your academics, the way you treat your social life, the way you look at your future and the goals that you have. Those things seem like really big things, but all of that boils down to like the way you live your everyday life.
We value
Intellectual excellence.
Community.
Social responsibility.
Stewardship.
Faith, meaning, and values.
Wrestling here has been great. I've been able to achieve some of my goals I've set for myself, and I guess coming to a smaller school in wrestling, I got to be able to start right away and wrestle every year so far. Coming here and be able to compete right away is great. Coming into college, I really didn't know what I was going to do. I was undecided, and then going through taking classes, I figured out what I wanted to do. I want to work with other people, like with kids, and help them develop.
Welcome back to RA Fagnall Hall. Second half coming up between the Elmhurst College Blue Jays and the North Park University Vikings. I'm Luke Tanaka. Glad to have you alongside, that you're spending a portion of your Wednesday evening with us as the Blue Jays in their homecoming, per se, after a 3-game road swing they played a tough half against North Park, mainly because Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson for North Park have 35 of the team's 40 points. Now, I guess I can't be too surprised about that, but they do have another player who averages double figures, 13, Colin Lake, but he hasn't scored at all. It was the Jordan Robinson show in the first half, as he had 21 points on 8 of 15 shooting and 4 of 6 from beyond the arc. Juwan Henry added 14, went 6 for 11, as North Park shot 45% from the field. The Blue Jays thinking they should be up a little bit more, considering they won the rebounding battle by 8 in that half, and they're shooting 57% from the field. But they're having most of their success inside the three-point line, as they're 4 of 13 from beyond the arc and 8 of 9 from the free throw stripe. Just about set to get going here for the second half. On the floor for the Blue Jays, it's the 5 starters: Kyle Wiest, Will Nixon, Eric Crittenden, Brian Ackerman, and Pat Coleman. North Park will begin the half shooting at the left basket in the black with the blue numbers and the yellow trim as Henry goes all the way to the bucket. Now Lake has a chance for 3, and he's in the scorebook. As he numbers in the yellow trim as Henry goes all the way to the bucket. Now Lake has a chance for 3, and he's in the score. In the white, shooting at the right basket with their first possession of the second half. Kyle Wiest holding at the top. He's guarded by Cobbs. Gets a screen by Nixon. Now trying to go to the basket. Arid pass for Crittenden, but Coleman picked it up off the hardwood. Now Ackerman open for 3. No good. Crittenden pulls down a board. He skied for it, and it's going to be a foul on Cobbs. That's his third. First team foul of the second half. Cobbs has 3 fouls. Other players in foul trouble: Michael Hutchinson with 2. Darius Brown with 2 for North Park. Kyle Wiest has 2 for the Blue Jays, as Crittenden's left-handed free throw is well short. Shoots 71% for the season, but he struggled a little bit in the last couple of games starting conference play. He'll toe the line once again. Elmhurst leading by 1, now 2, as Crittenden knocks down the second one and splits the pair. Crittenden's got 5 points. And Juwan Henry will jog the ball up the floor towards the left. North Park 11-5, 3-2 in the conference as Henry jacks up a 3. Couldn't get it to go. Found the ball on the baseline and got it out to Robinson. Here's Lake driving baseline behind the back, but he got cut off by Ackerman. Extra pass. Juwan Henry's open for 3, and he knocks it down. Here's Lake driving baseline behind the back, but the Blue Jays just learned that the hard way, and now they're trailing by 1. first deficit since early in the first half as Crittenden goes all the way to the bucket and changes that in a moment. 3 points in the second half for the Blue Jays. First deficit since early in the first half as Crittenden goes all the way to the bucket and it's a 1-point Elmhurst lead. First half, 8 lead changes and 4 ties, most of those coming at the beginning of the game. As Juwan Henry goes down to a knee but keeps his dribble. Colin Lake spots up for 3. He's a little too strong. Pat Coleman had it go off the baseline. Tried to sky to save it, but it bounced right off the baseline off of Coleman, and in battling with Darius Brown, he loses that battle. 47-46, pass goes to Cobbs, and Colin Lake in between the circles. Bounce pass to Cobbs, near side, guarded by Wiest. Elmhurst in a 2-3 zone. Trying to avoid the 3 ball, but here's Lake open for 3. They left him wide open, and Nixon pulled down a rebound. Wiest went to guard somebody on the near wing. I think it was Cobbs, and that left Lake open for 3 straight on, but he couldn't knock it down. And now Elmhurst with the possession up by 1, and Darius Brown will be charged with his 3rd foul. Not much to it. An arm in the back of Will Nixon down low as Nixon tried to post up, and Kyle Wiest will inbound as that's 2 team fouls on the Vikings. Wiest spots up for 3, far wing, knocks it down. Kyle Wiest for 3. 7 points on the game. Blue Jays lead by 4. Last year was 2 lopsided affairs between these 2 teams, with Elmhurst winning both by 25 in Chicago and by 40 here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. Robinson thought about a 3. Used his pivot foot to take a couple of steps, and now Kyle Wiest will get his 3rd. Claps his hands together in frustration. Kyle Wiest now has 3 fouls. John Baines not going to his bench, trusting his senior, and let's see if Colin Lake goes straight at Kyle Wiest. And those 3 fouls. Pat Coleman face guarding Henry, but Lake able to shield him off to get the ball to him. Henry way away from the basket along the Elmhurst College on the far side. Now he goes all the way to the bucket. Crittenden had a wild swipe at it, and Henry got the side of the backboard. Wiest pulls it down, heads the other way. Nice pass to Crittenden. Cobbs with a block. Cobbs can't believe it. It looked like he got there in time, but the near side official said no as he slid, says the near side official. That's 4 on TJ Cobbs. And Armand Mooring will check in for Cobbs. And Crittenden will head to the free throw stripe. He's the only, as Crittenden will shoot 2 here. He almost got that shot to go for a 3-point play, but didn't. And he's 71% from the line. Just split a pair a second ago, and he misses the front end once again. Crittenden, a 6'7" senior forward from Crete, Marion Catholic High School. 13-10 last season against North Park on the road as he knocks down that one. One of 2 players to have a double-double. The other one, you'd think it'd be Will Nixon, the forward, but it was Kyle Wiest, the guard, who led the team with 12 rebounds in that game. 75-50 win over North Park in Chicago as Henry pulls up right in Will Nixon's face and knocks down a 3. Both of North Park's leading scorers are in the 20s. 20 for Henry and 21 for Robinson. Elmhurst has not been able to shut down the 2 leading scorers in the CCIW. Ackerman, wing 3, is well short. Crittenden tapped it around, and Mooring got the rebound before it went out of bounds. 16 minutes to play here in the first half. Juwan Henry thought about the 3. Jab step, now running in towards the paint. Spin move past Crittenden, but he's blocked by Coleman. Help side defense by Coleman got the block. Wiest looking for Nixon down low. Finds him, gets back into some space, and gets the layup to go. And John Baines will call his 3rd timeout of the game, first of the half. He has 3 remaining as the Blue Jays take a 4-point lead, 53-49, with 15:52 to go here in the second half. We can revisit our keys to the game. Well, for Elmhurst, it was supposed to be to limit Juwan Henry, Jordan Robinson. Chris Martin told me before the game if we can slow down both their big players, we'll have a really good shot at winning. And, well, they haven't, to say the least. Jordan Robinson had 21 points in the first half, and Juwan Henry has 20 points, adding to his total at halftime with 6 more already in this half. Elmhurst still leads by 4. It's close, and this North Park team can really get hot with Henry and Robinson if you let them have a chance. Keys for North Park was to win the turnover battle and shoot well. Well, they're shooting well, that's for sure. And the turnover battle, they're winning that too. So they're doing what they need to do to win this game. And they also need to get a little bit on the glass as well, a little bit more, as Elmhurst led the rebounding in that first half 20-12. We'll see if North Park can do what they did at the beginning of the game. And that was really good job by North Park early in this game to get on the offensive glass. Robinson a couple of offensive rebounds, and the two teams split the 10 offensive rebounds in that first half. But Elmhurst starting a little better on the rebounding as the half went on. Leading scorer to leading scorer as top 2 players in the conference in scoring hand off to each other, Robinson and Henry. Now it's Henry on the far wing. Robinson with the pass, trying to get by Nixon. Good defense on Robinson, and the tip out goes to Ackerman, but the steal by Cobbs. No, it's Mooring, excuse me, with Cobbs out of the game. Robinson's open for 3, but he passed it up for Lake, who drives to the basket, and he throws the ball away. Threw it to empty space by the North Park bench. I think Tom Slider is talking to Colin Lake. He wants him to shoot that 3, and I wouldn't be surprised. Colin Lake is a pretty good three-point shooter. In fact, he's 9th in the conference in three-point shooting. And he just passed one up there and turned it over. With under 15 minutes and 30 seconds to play, backdoor pass to Ackerman, and Crittenden led him a little too much. Hand it right back to North Park with a turnover, does the Blue Jays. 4-point lead for Elmhurst, 15-19 to play as the clock ticks down, and Robinson inbounds to Henry, who will walk it up. Slider pacing on the sideline, North Park coach. New player into the game that we have not seen, it's Joe Bicco. As here is Jordan Robinson going all the way to the basket, and he gets it to go. First points of the half for Robinson. He has 23 to lead all scorers, and it's a 2-point game, 53-51. Elmhurst turned it over their last time, but a nice in pass to Nixon, and Robinson, who thought he got a tie-up and has been pleading with the official all night long, will pick up the foul. Fourth team foul on the Vikings, and Will Nixon will go to the free throw stripe for 2 with 14:44 to play. Nixon knocks down the first free throw. He's been really good from the stripe the last couple of games. 61% for the season. He was under 50% for a while. He's got 9 points as Jalen Loving, Brandon Schwebke, Eric Leonard, and Peyton Wyatt check in, and Payonk is next after Will Nixon's free throw. Center spins the ball in his hand, and he's short, but Nicky gets his own rebound. Finds Schwebke down low. Leonard driving to the basket, pulls up just inside the elbow and gets it to go. 10 players in the scorebook for the Blue Jays. Leonard becomes the 10th, and Juwan Henry wants timeout. And he will get it with 14:30 to play here in the second half, and a 5-point Elmhurst advantage as Nixon's free throw was well short, but he was able to get his own rebound. Nobody boxed him out. And Eric Leonard ends up converting on the possession. Blue Jays come into this game 5-0 in conference play after 3 consecutive road wins over Milliken 73-65, Carthage 78-58, and Wheaton 71-46. It wasn't a pretty game in Wheaton. Elmhurst only shot 31%. They haven't really played well in years at King Arena, and they were able to get away with it because Wheaton only scored 19 points in the second half. Really struggled. And now Elmhurst, with the solid defense, was able to get away with a win there on the road, and a convincing one at that. Check in around the league before we get started here as Augustana leads Illinois Wesleyan 39-38. Illinois Wesleyan led by 2 at the half. Carthage is really struggling against North Central as Henry pulls up from the far side. It's no good. Ball tipped around, and Wyatt got the rebound. North Central leads by 32 at home, and Naperville should cruise to the victory. Milliken leads Wheaton by 2 in Wheaton, 60-58. Eric Leonard's going to take a three. He's going to miss short, and the rebound is tipped around, and it'll stay with Elmhurst with a fresh shot clock at 30 seconds. An update from the Elmhurst women's team. They currently lead North Park 38-28. North Park very good on the women's side, 13-3, 4-1 in the conference, but the Elmhurst women's team playing some really good defense against Liz Rayberger, the leading scorer on the women's side. And Elmhurst women lead by 10 over in Chicago. Leonard, one dribble and then a bounce to Payonk. Jalen Loving circling back towards the front. Now it's down low to Loving again, but he gets rejected by Bicko. What a nice play by Joe Bicko to come from the backside and block Loving on his way up. First block of the day for the Vikings, and they will have a chance to cut into the 5-point deficit. Elmhurst defense playing tough. Schwebke is guarding Lake. That is a seriously different height advantage as Lake is really quick, and he gets an open three, but he hits the side of the backboard. Well off the mark, and Eric Leonard is out and running. Pass to Wyatt, who stops in the paint. Now Schwebke, open for three. Mask is no problem for Brandon Schwebke. 8 points for Brandon Schwebke. Mask and all. Game high 8-point lead for Elmhurst as Colin Lake pounds the ball into the floor in frustration after missing a three and then giving one up to Schwebke on the other end. And North Park wants time. And it'll be a full timeout as we can recheck in some of the key team stats in this game. Elmhurst leading by 8. It's their largest lead of the game so far. And a big key has been to the getting to the free throw line and making free throws. 73% so far, 11 of 15. North Park has only shot 3 free throws in this game. Elmhurst now leading the rebounding battle by 13, 29-16, something we expected. But offensive rebounds have been a different story. It's 8-7 offensive rebounds for the Blue Jays. And that's pretty surprising with the way that Elmhurst rebounds the basketball, rebounding over 10 more than their opponents, while North Park gives up 3 rebounds more than they grab. Bench points, no surprise, 19-3, the Blue Jays on top. Turnovers, 10-6. Again, no surprise, North Park, a guard-oriented team, doesn't turn the ball over a whole lot. Elmhurst, 10 turnovers today to 6 for North Park. 7 steals for the Vikings, including Colin Lake, who's had a really good game stealing the ball. He had 4 in the first half. And Bicko will stay in the game for some size for North Park. Bicko, 6'8", junior forward. Did not see him in the first half. We didn't. We're now seeing him here in the second half as North Park tries to counter Elmhurst's size with a bit of their own. Under 13 to play. Schwebke got a hand on the pass, but Robinson ended up with it anyway. Trying to drive to the basket against Loving. Goes back up and under. It gets it to go. Oh, Jordan Robinson. When you're hot, you're hot. Reversed all the way around, and Kenny Payonk has 2 fouls. Second team foul of the half. Robinson will try to convert a 3-point play. 25 points for him, 20 for Jawan Henry. All but 8 that North Park has scored today, but he misses the free throw. And Eric Leonard passes out to Loving, who goes all the way to the bucket, gets hacked by Bicko as Loving goes hard, face first into the hardwood. He is up and at him real quickly, and he's fine. He'll go to the free throw line as Bicko brought the right arm and the hammer down on the basketball. And as Jalen Loving will go to the free throw line with 2 shots. The one part of his game that he really struggles with, and he misses the first one, 47% from the free throw line this season. Jalen Loving, the 6'6" senior forward from Hillcrest High School, and then transferred from Danville Area Community College as he knocks down the second one. So Loving splits. He's got 3 points, and Elmhurst's lead is up to 7. They put the ball in Robinson's hands, and why not? Now it's Mooring. Lake at the top of the key. Leonard face guarding Henry, got to recover. Henry trying to back down Leonard, goes up with a tough shot, but he airballs it and Schwebke pulls it down. Almost stepped on the baseline, was able to get the ball to Leonard first. Eric Leonard drives past Henry, lost the ball for a second, pulls up. Loving couldn't get the rebound over Robinson. Leonard almost got a steal on the pass, but now Lake can run with an extra man. Mooring was calling for the ball as Henry is locked up by Leonard. Ball's on the hardwood. Leonard finds it, and there's Brandon Schwebke. A steal for the Blue Jays. Henry is on the hardwood, and he finally gets back up. 5-on-4 right now. Extra pass to Leonard. Wide open for three. No good. And on the back end, it's Colin Lake. That could have extended a 10-point advantage, but Juwan Henry is hurting. He's limping slightly. Tom Slider is asking him if he's okay, but he was limping slightly on his way up the floor. They leave Robinson open, and he airballs the three. And Elmhurst fans are going to have him hear that one. Elmhurst fans have been on him all day, and that's not going to help his case at all. Although I suppose he can chant scoreboard because he's got 25 points. But Elmhurst with the team lead with 7, as it's 60-53, under 11:30 to play here in the second half. It's Loving off the dribble, finds Schwebke on the far side, runs right into Robinson. Good defense by the Viking. Wyatt Loving with a hand in the passing lane, Mooring, and now he's going to be charged for a foul. Referees have allowed North Park to be very physical on the catch on these passes. It'll be a fresh 30 for the Blue Jays, but that time Mooring gets a foul after he was physical on the catch by Loving. As Wyatt will inbound to Leonard. 11 minutes to play. Blue Jays leading by 7. Here's Wyatt for 3. Far wing, no good. Schwebke tipped it out. It's up into the air. Cobbs has it. He pulls it down. Schwebke fouls him really hard as Cobbs goes right into the speaker that's behind the basket, and he's still down. That was a hard foul by Brandon Schwebke, wearing the mask after breaking his nose, and Cobbs does not look good. Schwebke put his hand up immediately. He knew he fouled him. Not too different from the play, I suppose, that Schwebke had his nose broken on as the swipe came down. Schwebke came over. Nice act of sportsmanship to pat Cobbs on the stomach, make sure he's okay. Cobbs still has his head down, wiping his face with his jersey. But he will take these free throws. Perhaps just a little bit of shock after running into the speaker on his slide towards the wall. And he rises up, and he looks pretty good on that free throw. Weiss checks back in with his 3 fouls. Nobody else for Elmhurst really in foul trouble. Payonk has 2. With 10:49 to play and a 6-point Elmhurst lead, Cobb's second free throw is up, and it is good after a couple of bounces. Cobbs with 4 points, third leading scorer on the team behind, you guessed it, Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson. Leonard goes all the way to the basket and one. Eric Leonard. Mooring now has 3 fouls. 7th team foul, which means Elmhurst is shooting free throws the rest of the way. That could be a good sign for the Blue Jays, who have shot pretty well from the foul stripe this game, as Leonard just couldn't quite get that one to go. Couldn't finish the 3-point play, but it's still a 7-point Elmhurst lead as Colin Lake jogs the ball up the floor to the left. 10:30 to go. Loving is on Robinson. Loving playing more of a 3 role, says John Baines, instead of his usual 4. But he's done well with the transition despite injuries. Hutchinson's going to take a 3, and that's off the mark. But Robinson got an offensive rebound and a putback. 27 for Jordan Robinson after 21 in the first half. Leonard trying to go to the basket again. Weiss gets the catch off the tough pass. Now it's off to Loving, who was the reverse lay-in. Couldn't get it to go, but it's tipped out right to Weiss. Leonard goes to the bucket. He hands off to Loving, who throws it down. Jalen Loving, what a pass by Eric Leonard. What a good job he's done at the point. And Loving throws it down. 7-point lead for the Blue Jays, 64-57. Robinson wants to change that. Rainbow three misses a little too strong, and Wiest pulls down a board. 64-57, Elmhurst trying to extend a lead. They haven't led by double digits today. Wiest just outside the free throw line, no good, and the outlet pass comes to Mooring, who's all alone. Wiest gets a huge block. Kyle Wiest skies into the air and blocks Mooring clean. Wow. Kyle Wiest showing off the athleticism. He wants the ball, but Leonard has it. Payonk from the free throw line. Always efficient, Kenny Payonk. What a swing in momentum. You thought it'd be a 5-point game. It's now a 9-point game. And a timeout for North Park. They only have one left. Kyle Wiest just put a charge into this crowd with an unbelievable block. Wow. We've heard about Kyle Wiest's elevation and his ability with that vertical, but I don't know if we've really seen it up until this point. But I swear he could have hit his head on the rim with the way that he jumped up there and got that block. He was able to get back on Mooring and get in front of him, and then able to just reject Armand Mooring, who was hoping to become the 6th player to be in the scorebook for North Park. But we said no. And Kyle Wiest, who has been such an unbelievable player for this Blue Jay team, he's led the team in scoring the last 3 years, and he's leading them this year with 16.3 per game. He's also 11th in the conference in assists with 3 assists per game. And Kyle Wiest was John Baines talking about a story about Kyle Wiest in our interview on Monday, where against I believe this was last week's interview against Milliken, talking about the bench and how Peyton Wyatt is been very strong, and he led the team in scoring. Late in the game, Kyle Wiest was in the huddle, and John Baines said, "You're going to catch the ball off the inbound, and Peyton's going to be wide open in the corner." And it takes a lot for Wiest to be that unselfish. He's the guy on this Elmhurst team, the leading scorer, but that doesn't mean that he's not able to get the assists as well, and the unselfishness to find Wyatt, and then Wyatt knocks it down, which really iced the game at that point. A victory for the Blue Jays in Decatur. Back to the action as Robinson falls down. Ball's on the floor. Ackerman and Nixon in there too, and a jump ball. Possession arrow to the Blue Jays as the bench gets up on their feet. 9-point lead, 8:33 to play. And Elmhurst will have the basketball, already leading by 9, and Wiest will grab a towel to wipe down that part of the floor. Jordan Robinson has played almost every minute in this game. He played 20 minutes in the first half. Did not sub out in that first half. And that's what you see from this North Park team. They have the 3 leading players in minutes in the conference: Colin Lake, Juwan Henry, and Jordan Robinson. Not in that order. I believe it's Henry, Robinson, Lake, if you want to go order-wise. Colin Lake today is just 1 of 8 from the field and 1 of 6 from three-point range. But 47 combined points from Henry and Robinson have North Park in this game. Backdoor to Wiest, who has the extra pass to Ackerman, but it was a little off the mark, so Elmhurst will reset. Now Wiest for 3, near wing. No good, and Robinson pulls down a rebound. Elmhurst is just waiting for that basket to pull away, but they haven't been able to convert. Pye shuffles his feet, but is able to get the dribble. Now the ball's on the floor, and a timeout called by North Park. And that's it. They don't have any more timeouts left. With 8 minutes to go, North Park is out of timeouts. I was surprised to see them use 2 in that first half, and they used a couple early in this half as well, and then using one a couple of moments ago, and now they use one here, and they're out of timeouts. But back to the minutes. Jordan Robinson has played every minute of this game so far, and why not when he's shooting 52%, but the thing that you wonder about that is you get deeper into the conference play, and CCIW is so physical, and it's a really tough conference game in and game out. There are no gimmies in this conference. You wonder how are they going to last. Colin Lake's played 29 minutes, Juwan Henry's played 27, and Jordan Robinson's played 32, and 32 minutes is all you can play in this game. You wonder if the team's going to be able to hold on, and if you may need some of the guys to contribute later in the season. But last season didn't seem to be much of a problem, as Juwan Henry had one of his biggest games in the last game of the season against North Central. So and maybe it works for them. Maybe their conditioning program is just that good. I'm not sure. As we come out of the timeout, it's 8:06 to play, a 9-point Elmhurst lead. It's 66-57. North Park is out of timeouts. Elmhurst has 3 remaining. Elmhurst leading 51-39 is just announced over the PA system in Chicago, which will be a huge win for the Elmhurst women's team. Colin Lake decides not to take a 3. Confidence not looking so good after shooting 1 of 8 in the first 32 minutes of this one. There we go. Now he's confident from the wing. No good, just in and out, and we'll have a foul. It'll stay here. It'll be the first foul on Will Nixon on the rebound as he got interlocked with Hutchinson. Oh, it's going to be Leonard's second, excuse me. So no fouls on Nixon, but 2 on Leonard as Lake gets fouled by Ackerman. Ackerman got a hand in the face of Colin Lake, and that's 2 quick fouls and the 5th team foul on the Blue Jays. And let me correct, that's only 1 on Eric Leonard. So we're figuring all this out. Leonard has 1 foul, 7:43 to go, 66-57, Elmhurst on top here in the second half. Hutchinson at the top of the key now finds Lake, who's guarded by Ackerman. They double him, leave Hutchinson. And now Robinson steps in. Henry with 10 to shoot, doubled by Nixon. Robinson with the hustle over there. Now Colin Lake for 3, and he hits it. This is the second field goal of the game for Lake. Both have come from downtown. And it's a 6-point game. 7 minutes to play with Nixon. Ackerman on the far wing finds Wiest. Smart to go away from the three-point line as Robinson was all up in his face. Now Crittenden fakes the shot with 8 to shoot. It's Ackerman going on Henry, and Henry's going to be called for the foul. Very physical with Ackerman. And they're letting him be physical, and that's the way it is in the CCIW. First foul charged to Jawan Henry, and with 8 team fouls, Ackerman will go to the line. One and one for Ackerman, and he misses the front end. Elmer's got to knock down some free throws if they want to pull away in this one. Leading by 6 with under 7 minutes to play. Remember, North Park has no timeouts remaining. They took their last one with a guy on the floor. Now it's Henry trying to cut into this deficit. Henry, double teamed, lost the ball for a second, but recovered. Finds Robinson with 7 to shoot. Robinson pulls up for 3 from the wing. No good, too strong. Crittenden pulls down a rebound. Nobody even in the vicinity for North Park on that board. Ackerman goes all the way to the basket. Scoop layup, no good. Off the contact, Hutchinson finds Henry, who didn't look up. Henry for 3, knocks it down. 23 points for Jawan Henry, and North Park is within 3. John Bain stands up, thinking about the timeout perhaps, but doesn't take it. Ackerman finds Nixon. Elmhurst has gone cold, now under 6 minutes to play, leading by 3. Schwebke set to check in. Here's Wiest. Fadeaway jumper. Yes. 9 points for Wiest. Just one player in double figures. It's Ackerman, but 2 players pretty close. I think that 4 players pretty close. 9 for Wiest, 8 for Crittenden, 8 for Schwebke, and 9 for Nixon. That's just the way Elmhurst does things. Very deep team, very much the opposite of North Park. 5-point lead for the Blue Jays as there's a bounce pass to Hutchinson down low in the paint, and he gets it to go from Robinson. 6th player in the scorebook for North Park. As Crittenden, North Park bench wanted to travel, but Crittenden joins Ackerman in double figures, and John Baines calls timeout with 5:03 to go and a 5-point lead. But this game has gotten very interesting here at the end. Number 2 ranked Blue Jays trying to avoid the upset. 5 minutes and 3 seconds to play. Crittenden, North Park fans thought he traveled, but not called, and Crittenden goes all the way to the basket and gets it to go. Leading scorers in the game, Jordan Robinson 27, Juwan Henry 23. Combined, they have scored 50 of North Park's 65 points. No surprise there, as they are the key cogs for this North Park offense. On the other side, it's been a balanced attack with 10 players scoring at least 3 points. Wyatt has 3, Leonard has 4, Coleman has 6, Wiest has 9, Ackerman and Crittenden tied for the team lead with 10 apiece. Schwebke with 8, Payonk with 6, Jalen Loving with 5, and Will Nixon with 9. So glad you could join us. Could be a good last 5 minutes as Elmhurst tries to stave off the upstart North Park Vikings, who look very similar to them, not necessarily in terms of how their team is constructed, but in terms of record. North Park was 4-21 2 seasons ago, went 15-10 last year, and then this year they're 11-5, 3-2 in the conference so far. The 8-point lead for Augustana as announced over the PA system in Bloomington right now. Elsewhere, North Central is throttling Carthage by 30, and Wheaton has a 4-point lead with 3 minutes to go over Milliken just down the road in Wheaton. Under 5 to play, Blue Jays leading by 5. Henry with one spin move to the basket, really tough defense. He wanted a foul, he didn't get it. And then Jalen Loving threw the ball away as Kyle Wiest tried to go away from TJ Cobbs. Another Blue Jay turnover. And if you're John Baines, the key for your team in these last 4 minutes and 44 seconds, take care of the basketball. Right now, 11 turnovers for the Blue Jays and 8 for North Park. New possession for the Vikings. They're trying to get the ball to Robinson, and they do. Back to Hutchinson. Robinson will repost, and they'll send it the other way. Loving face guarding Robinson. Bounce pass to Hutchinson for 3. Yes! Hutchinson hits a 3, and it's a 2-point game. Loving one dribble. He lost it now. Has to hand off to Coleman. Tense moments here for the Blue Jays. Their offense has not been hot the last couple of minutes. Kyle Wiest through the legs, trying to go to work on TJ Cobbs. Gets a screen. Robinson cuts him off. Now finds Coleman on the wing for 3. Yes! 9 points for Coleman. A huge 3. To put Elmhurst back up by 5. Under 4 minutes to play. 73-68. As now we'll have a foul, ticky-tack on the far wing, and it'll be charged to Coleman. First and the 6th on the team, so next one will be shooting for North Park. Elmhurst already in the bonus with 8 team fouls on North Park. Fresh 30 for the Vikings with 3:46 now and ticking to play. Lake does a spin move, guarded by Wiest. Now Loving against Robinson. Here's the matchup. Robinson tries to go to work, finds Hutchinson again, and he's feeling it. Huge buckets these last couple of possessions by Michael Hutchinson as Loving's played good defense, but they leave Hutchinson open, and he's knocking down shots. See if they adjust. Wiest, pull-up jumper, no good. Loving had a hand on the rebound, but couldn't complete it, and Lake got it. Now a 3-point game. North Park can tie with a 3. Just over 3 minutes to play. Here's Henry. Going around Coleman. He got around him. Schwebke trying to help out. Couldn't get there. And Henry put it back up and in. Off a couple of misses. Quick 4-0 run. Henry has 25 points. 1-point game, 73-72, under 3 minutes to play. Henry is reaching, but they haven't called that all day, so I'm not surprised to see him not call it now. North Park been very aggressive off the catch and off the dribble for the Blue Jays. 9 to shoot for Jalen Loving, who gets cut off by Robinson. Needs to find somebody. Wiest with 5. Wiest with 4. Wiest through the legs with 2. Wiest jacks it up. It's well short, and it's in a shot clock violation. Really good defense by the Vikings. Vikings bench is fired up. They want the upset. Schwebke checks out. Leonard checks in. And on the Elmhurst side of things, people are sitting down and quiet. And now the students will rise for the defensive possession. Just over 2 minutes to play. North Park can take the lead with a basket. Loving couldn't get the steal. Now they find Lake. Loving recovers. Lake for three. Count it. 2-point lead for North Park in Elmhurst. 75-73. Elmhurst fans stand. Blue Jays really need a bucket. Wiest, he's their guy. He goes the bucket and one. No basket. No basket. I thought they gave it to him, but they did not. They're going to give the foul on the floor. 3 on Hutchinson, and Kyle Wiest is going to go to the free throw stripe. He needs 2 to tie the game with under 2 minutes to play. North Park really executing the game plan. And it's been a great job by Jordan Robinson of giving the ball to Hutchinson, and he's knocking down shots. Wiest, he's the guy you want at the free throw line. He joins the team high with 10 points. Wiest, third in the conference in free throw shooting at 84%. Wiest, second free throw is smooth. 11 for Wiest. 75 all. Under 2 to play. Another good one at R.A. Fagnall Hall. Robinson gets the catch of the elbow. Back out to Colin Lake. Guarded by Wiest through the legs twice. Now crossover, hands off to Robinson with 10 to shoot. Robinson behind the back, going to the bucket, and a beautiful move by Jordan Robinson. 29 for Robinson. And it's a 2-point North Park lead. Back and forth they go. Bounce pass, an arid pass by Loving, and it's a turnover as Leonard gets fouled. No, Robinson is going to be, it's going to be Leonard with the foul as Robinson leaned back into Leonard. 2 fouls on Leonard, and Robinson is going to go to the line for 1 and 1 as he leaned back into Eric Leonard. But he didn't know Leonard was there, so it's not to say that he knew Leonard was there and trying to back into him. Robinson will go to the line. He shoots 63% for the season. 1:14 to go, a 2-point North Park lead, make it 3. And he's hit the 30 mark as Eric Crittenden checks in for offense. And it is a 3-point North Park lead. Robinson with 1 more can make it a 4-point game with 74 seconds to play. Number 2 Elmhurst in big trouble here at home as Robinson knocks it down. Very smooth. Robinson has had himself quite a game, 31 points. And Henry, his teammate, with 25. Elmhurst wants to go to the bucket quickly. They hand off to Wiest. Open for 3. Far wing. Too strong. Nixon gets an offensive rebound, and he's fouled by TJ Cobbs. That's it for Cobbs, who fouls out with 4 points. Double bonus now, but Will Nixon, although he has shot well from the free throw stripe recently, maybe not the number 1 option you want at the line if you're the Blue Jays. He shoots 61%. Loving checks in for defensive purposes on Robinson. Tense moments here at R.A. Fagnall Hall. 4-point North Park lead. And Nixon will shoot 2 as Joe Bicco wants to check back in. Nixon at the stripe. Jim falls silent. First free throw is good, and it's 2 shots, not 1 and 1, but everybody collapsed in. Nixon now 2 of 3 from the line today. 79-76 North Park with 66 seconds to play. The Vikings proving that they want to be in the discussion not only for the CCIW tournament, but maybe more. Nixon knocks down both. He's got 11 points. Tied for the team lead. 1 minute to play. Blue Jays trailing by 2. Buckle your seatbelts. Robinson catches at the top of the key in between the circles. Nixon's going to come out to guard him. Quickness advantage for Robinson, who goes to his right side, almost falls down backwards, but has 10 to shoot. 45 to play. Robinson by the Blue Jay with 5 to shoot. He's going to pull up. Robinson loses it. Colin Lake for 3. Oh, it rattles out, but Jawan Henry gets a board. 34 seconds to play. Elmhurst, a 6-second difference between game and shot. and they're going to foul Juwan Henry. And the one thing you cannot see if you're the Blue Jays, an offensive rebound against a smaller team. Eric Leonard has 3, I believe. Let's confirm that just to be sure. No, it is his 4th. So that's 4 on Eric Leonard. Juwan Henry will shoot 1 and 1, the 6th best free throw shooter in the conference. Not somebody you want at the line if you're Elmhurst. Henry dribbles it. A noise coming from the student section, and he misses. He missed it. Now it's a 2-point game with 26 seconds to play. Ackerman, John Baines has timeouts, but he opts not to use them. Here's Ackerman against Robinson. Now 20 to play. Nixon at the top. Wiest with 15 to play. Wiest through the legs against Henry. Down low to Crittenden with 12. Crittenden with 10. Crittenden turnaround jumper. Good! Eric Crittenden. 7.3 to go. North Park will have the last shot. Tie game at 79. Here comes Lake, all the way to the basket. Colin Lake, scoop, no good. Leonard has it, and we are going to overtime. Hold on, as Colin Lake is face down under the basket, but he gets up. Are they going to give him the timeout is a question. Kyle Wiest is also down. Just absolute chaos as Wiest did not look good, holding an ankle. But right now we're going to overtime. Let's see if they give the timeout, and it doesn't look like they're going to. Baines wanted a timeout with some time left on the clock. Leonard wanted it too, but I don't think the officials heard him. So here we go. 2 games at R.A. Fagnall Hall. We're going to overtime again. 79-79. Eric Crittenden's lean-away jumper falling away from the contact gives him 12 points and a team high. And we're tied at 79. What a shot by Eric Crittenden. And we'll play 5 more. What a game it's been. North Park trying to pull the upset. Colin Lake almost got the lay-in to go, but Leonard was there for the defense. Only player that will not play in this overtime session is TJ Cobbs, who has 5 fouls. He is fouled out. Kyle Wiest has been stuck on 3 for most of the second half. Eric Leonard has 4 fouls. Michael Hutchinson, who played a huge role for North Park to get them the lead after Robinson. They double-teamed him, and wide open was Hutchinson. 3 times in a row he was able to knock down shots. He had 7 points in the second half. Jordan Robinson hugging Juwan Henry in the middle of the floor, trying to get him pumped up for this overtime session. And you wonder if those tired legs will mean something here for North Park. Now, they're used to it, don't get me wrong. Juwan Henry, Jordan Robinson, and Colin Lake are used to playing 30-plus minutes per game. But it's always something to look at when the top 3 players in minutes are on the floor, and Jordan Robinson today, I believe he's played every minute of this game. He has. Jordan Robinson, 40. Colin Lake, 37. And Juwan Henry, 35, as Elmhurst controls the tip. Crittenden's wide open under the basket. And the first 2 of overtime go to Eric Crittenden and the Blue Jays. 81-79. Colin Lake in the black for North Park will dribble it up to the left basket. He hands off to Henry. Juwan Henry, the leading scorer in the conference, gets cut off by Crittenden, goes all the way to the basket. No good, but he gets his own offensive rebound and a putback. Another offensive rebound given up by Elmhurst. And Ackerman is now open under the basket. Now he tries to get a reverse to go. He couldn't get it. He gets his own rebound, and he gets it and 1. Fired up, the senior from Milwaukee, Indiana. Not the first one, but the second one. 4 on Hutchinson now. And Ackerman at the stripe trying to complete a 3-point play and give Elmhurst a 3-point overtime lead. Too short. You can tell right off the hand Elmhurst has struggled in the second half from the free throw line, and it's really hurt him. 83-81. North Park with Juwan Henry on the far side, trailing by 2. Spinning, and Hutchinson fakes the 3. Now Robinson at the top of the key, guarded by Nixon. Robinson off his screen, lost the ball. Will Nixon with the steal. Back up the other way, to the right for the Blue Jays. It's Ackerman, finds Leonard. Leonard dribbling in. Got caught in the air, found Crittenden. Reset for the Blue Jays. Ackerman at the top of the key. Now Weiss looking for Nixon, but good position by Hutchinson. Here's Crittenden. Jumper from the free throw line. Eric Crittenden. He stepped up in overtime against Augustana, and he's stepping up in overtime against North Park. Jordan Robinson ties his shoe in the backcourt as Colin Lake brings it up. Here comes Robinson to make it 5-on-5. 3:30 to go in overtime. Elmhurst leading by 4, 85-81. Colin Lake dribbling with the left hand. Bounce pass to Henry on the near wing. Face guarded by Leonard. And Henry pulls up for 3. Bang! 30 for Jawan Henry. 31 for Jordan Robinson. There's a couple of unbelievable players for this North Park team. 1-point game, it's Crittenden again, but he hands off to Ackerman instead. Under 3 minutes to play in overtime, a 1-point Blue Jay lead. Kyle Weist finds Leonard. Fake, going to the basket. Crittenden, jumper from the near side. No good this time. Ackerman tipped up a rebound, but Robinson was able to get it, and he comes down limping. And it's going to be an official's timeout as Robinson came down, and he does not look good. Looks like he might be able to walk this off. I think he might have turned an ankle on that. But it seemed just kind of all of a sudden. It wasn't like it seemed like he tried to take a step and then he couldn't go anywhere. Robinson has played every single minute of this game. It's a cramp. Yeah, it's a cramp for Jordan Robinson. And now you're really seeing how the depth of North Park is starting to hurt them here in overtime. And John Baines wants an explanation. The entire Elmhurst sideline wants an explanation as the official's timeout was given to Jordan Robinson, and he's getting lots of time to get better from his cramp. I think that they want Tom Slider to be charged for his timeout. I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but now they're going to give a call here and check in. Robinson stretching on the near side, but that's interesting. The official timeout, of course, you want to make sure the player is okay. That time it was a cramp for Robinson. And he's still stretching that left leg, and he still doesn't feel good. I'm surprised he hasn't gone to the bench, but he's played every minute of this game. And he's still talking to the crowd over here. And now he's going to check out. So that's the first time we've seen Jordan Robinson check out, and he's going to go right back to the scorer's table. Robinson has not once but twice been talking with the Elmhurst fan base as he tries to down some water on the far side. And now Elmhurst is going to show some pressure here as North Park will inbound near the Elmhurst bench on the far side with 2:41 to play in the first overtime and a 1-point Elmhurst lead. Tom Slider making motions at the official, and now Elmhurst will back off with the press. Elmhurst defense needing a stop here, leading by 1 with halfway through this overtime session. And it's a foul charge to Weist, I believe. That, if so, that would be his 4th. No, it's going to be on Wyatt, his 2nd. Or not. Now Robinson comes back in. No, it's going to be Leonard. A little confused with the officiating right now. It says Eric Leonard should have 5 personal fouls, but I think he has 4. As Jawan Henry goes to the line for 1-and-1, and he misses the front end. Jawan Henry, one of the best free throw shooters in the conference, has missed the front end twice in regulation and overtime. Elmhurst with the basketball in a 1-point lead. Robinson is back on the floor. He's guarding Crittenden, but Crittenden's wide open. Robinson, they get back on the double team, and Crittenden is still trying to go up, and he does, and 1. Eric Crittenden against a double team. He has stepped up for this Elmhurst team in the end of regulation and overtime. Robinson gets charged for the foul. That's 2. And Crittenden will go to the free throw line for 1 shot, trying to complete a 3-point play. Eric Crittenden hit a fadeaway jumper on the far baseline in the final 10 seconds of regulation to tie the game. And now here he is at the free throw line, and he misses it. He makes the free throw. Boy, I thought that one was going to roll out, but it didn't. It falls. Elmhurst lead back up to 4, 88-84. Colin Lake dribbling on the far side. It's been a really good game. Hope you're still with us here at R.I. Fagnall Hall. 2 minutes to go in overtime. Robinson, dealing with cramps, has the ball, trying to go to the basket against Nixon, and he lost on the way up, and a foul on Ackerman. Officials can't believe it. Fans can't believe it. Brian Ackerman's third foul. Needless to say, the fans have not been happy with the officiating, especially in the overtime, as they gave Jordan Robinson about 2 minutes to recover from his cramps without charging Tom Slider with a timeout earlier. Robinson's free throw, it misses short, and that's what happens with the amount of time these North Park players have to play. It's so hard after you've played 43 minutes of basketball to be able to focus on these free throws. And he misses the second one too. Weiss gets the rebound. North Park has not made a free throw in overtime. They are 0 of 3. 4-point Elmhurst lead. Under 2 minutes to play in overtime. Brian Ackerman dribbling, trying to get to Robinson. Now Ackerman, they leave him open. No good. Crittenden knocks it out, and he's going to be charged for a foul. And that'll mean 2 shots on the other end for whoever this is. Crittenden's second foul, 10th team foul, second half plus overtime, as he tried to hack the ball away from Hutchinson, and he went over the back. And Hutchinson will go to the free throw line. 74% for the season for the 6'4" senior forward from Olympia Fields and Marion Catholic. And he played high school basketball with Eric Crittenden, who just fouled him. Hutchinson taking his time, bending at the knees, and he misses. 0 of 4 in overtime for North Park from the free throw line. This time they get a second free throw. Hutchinson, 3 bounces, looking at the basket, spins the ball, puts it up, and there's a free throw that goes down. Hutchinson has 8 points, and really they've happened in the last 7 minutes of the game. They leave Robinson in the game. 90 seconds to play, and the Blue Jays lead by 3. Tense moments here at R.I. Fagnall Hall. Number 2 Elmhurst trying to survive against the North Park Vikings, a team that they slaughtered twice last year. And we have a foul? No, a timeout taken by Elmhurst. Saw a signaling for a foul, be a full timeout for the Blue Jays. They have 2 remaining, North Park with 1. Looking at the stats, Elmhurst has shot 52.5% from the field, but when you allow this many points, 61 points to 2 players, it's bound to happen. You're going to be in a close game, and that's what John Baines and Chris Martin have been preaching ever since they thought about this matchup with North Park. If you limit their 2 best players, then you have a really good chance of winning. When you don't, it really could go up in the air, and North Park has some really fantastic players, Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson, just a really good knack for scoring the basketball. They could do it in a bunch of different ways. They can shoot the 3, they can drive and get to the free throw line, they can drive and finish at the basket. I mean, it's really been impressive from those guys. And the other thing, the 3-point line has been what's kept North Park in this game. 14 of 33 for the Vikings for 42%. The Blue Jays have had one of their toughest 3-point shooting nights of the season, 7 of 25 and 28%. And Elmhurst and North Park really at the free throw line. North Park is 7 of 14 from the line and just 1 of 5 in overtime. Elmhurst 17 of 25 after being 8 of 9 from the free throw line in the first half. Since then, now 9, if I do this math right, 9 of 14. 9 of 16, I should say, from the free throw line. As Elmhurst women's basketball has defeated North Park on the road. Back to the action here, just over a minute to play. Crittenden wanted the backdoor cut, couldn't find it. Now goes up, and he's blocked by Jordan Robinson. Hutchinson tries to save it, he cannot. 3 to shoot for Elmhurst with 1:05 to play. So they only have 3 seconds to get a shot off here, and they're a little far away for their jump play to Crittenden or Nixon. Let's see if they try that anyway. Weiss is looking for it. He's looking for the jump play, but he doesn't have it. Ackerman with 3. Ackerman lean away, blocked by Robinson, and Robinson has it. Juwan Henry with 1 minute to go. North Park down by 3. Elmhurst needs a defensive stop here. Henry finds Robinson for the tie. Little strong back iron rebound. Crittenden with 50 seconds to go. Crittenden trying to dribble. He needs to get rid of it. He does to Leonard. 45 seconds to go. Leonard into the front court. Leonard almost lost the handle from Henry, and now it's out of bounds. And Robinson and Henry can't believe it, but it will stay with Elmhurst. 20-second difference between game and shot clock. 3-point Elmhurst lead with 40 seconds to play, 88-85. They get the ball into Nixon and hand off to Wiest. Wiest trying to go to work on Henry, who falls down. Wiest, and he can't get it to go. Nixon tried the tip. The tip is still up in the air. Ackerman has it. Ackerman has it. Holding the ball, they get the ball to Wiest, the best free throw shooter on the team. Back to Leonard. Leonard back to Wiest with 22. They need to foul. Somebody needs to foul. Leonard with a shot clock turned off, and now they will foul Eric Leonard as North Park let a lot of time tick off that clock. But the scrum and Bryant Eckerman got the ball and the rebound. Eric Leonard will go to the line with 2 shots. Leonard on the season is 68 from the foul line. I'm surprised Wiest didn't hold it. But Leonard's free throw is off the mark. Leonard needs 1 to make it a 2-possession game. It's a 3-point game, 88-85. He needs this one. They're not even trying for the rebound, are the Blue Jays, because Leonard knocks it down. Just 5 points for Eric Leonard, the first point he's had in the second half in overtime. And with 15 ticks left, Juwan Henry will jack up a 3, and he'll miss. And the rebound is a scrum. It's Wiest, and it's Leonard. Leonard all alone. He'll kick it out with 5. Leonard with 4. Gets hacked with 3. And Darius Brown will be charged for his 4th foul, and the Elmhurst fans applaud as Leonard will go to the line with 3.3 to go. Elmhurst seemingly sealed this win and will escape against North Park. What a game it's been. What a game it's been. Leonard to the line, and he knocks down the first one. 5-point lead for the Blue Jays, 6 points for Eric Leonard. And Pat Coleman will check in. And Nixon will check out just to perhaps guard the 3-point line. But it'd take a miraculous couple of threes here for North Park if they're going to have a chance. 3.3 to go, 5-point Elmhurst lead. Leonard with 1 more free throw. He rises, fires, and hits it. Robinson will throw it deep to Hutchinson, and a timeout will be called with 2 seconds to play. Tom Slider talking to the officials, so we're going to have to go a little bit longer here. 6-point lead, 91-85. North Park trying to do everything they can. And a full timeout called by North Park. What a game it's been. Blue Jays and Vikings. North Park giving it all they can on the Blue Jays home floor, trying to defeat the team that beat them in 2 games by a combined 65 points last year. Juwan Henry and Jordan Robinson have just left it all on the floor tonight. And got to commend this North Park team. It's been quite a game. Jordan Robinson has played every single minute of this game. He has not subbed out once. 45 minutes, 12 of 25 from the field, 31 points. But the 3-point shooting has gone awry since his legs went away. He's 4 of 10 from 3-point land on the game. And 0 of 4 in the second half in overtime. And 3 of 7 from the free throw line. If you're North Park, the one thing that you're going to be kicking yourself for is from that free throw line. Really struggled in the second half and overtime. Specifically in overtime, shooting just 1 of 5 from the free throw line. As they get into Lake, will jack up a 3, and he makes it as time expires. And the Blue Jays come away with a victory, and it was not easy. Jordan Robinson, 31 points. Juwan Henry, 30 points to lead North Park, 61 of their 88 points. And there's a reason why they are the 2 top scorers in the conference, and it showed tonight as the Blue Jays had all they could handle from this North Park team. 91-88, the final score. Let's take a look at some of the final stats and the team stats before we get into Elmhurst side of things. 49% from the field for the Blue Jays, 28% from downtown, which kept North Park in the game. And the free throws, 69% from the free throw line for Elmhurst, but just 7 of 14 from the free throw line for North Park, as they really could have used some of those free throws in the extra session, but just could not get them to go. The last lead for North Park, they led with 8 seconds to play, but Eric Crittenden hit a fall-away jumper with 8 seconds to go to tie the game and send it to overtime. And the Blue Jays survive here in R.A. Faginal Hall. Individually for Elmhurst, the leading scorer is Eric Crittenden, who absolutely went on fire in overtime. 8 of 11 from the field. Unbelievable numbers from Crittenden, who went 1 of 10 against Wheaton the other day. He also grabbed 6 rebounds. Will Nixon with a double-double, 11 points and 12 rebounds. Brian Ackerman, second leading scorer on the team with 12 points. Kyle Wiest also added 11. And you could say the difference in this game is perhaps Elmhurst's depth over North Park. North Park plays their leading scorers so much, and that really hurt him in the end with the free throws, the tired legs on the free throws, and et cetera, as the Blue Jays with their 10 deep were able to knock down those free throws and win this one in overtime. Number 2 team in the nation gets a scare, but they pull one out over a very resilient North Park team. I'd like to thank Dennis for all he did on the broadcast today. I'm Luke Tanaka saying so long from R.A. Faginal Hall. Your final score, Elmhurst 91, North Park 88.